Hey everyone, I just want to welcome you to a surprise Friday to Taiki Talk. Um, Thank you for your patience in waiting for this later this week. Um, for those of you who are joining me for the first time, I just want to let you know what Taiki Talk is. It's a weekly, usually a weekly, it's almost every week. Um, it's a live stream that I do on LinkedIn. Obviously, you're here about various career issues that affect working women, and particularly about ways to change jobs or career transitions. We'll probably start getting into more lifestyle stuff a little later, but for now, we're talking about career and career transitions. And before I get started, I want to wish a belated Mother's Day to all the moms out there, stepmoms, bonus moms, birth moms, drag moms. Love you all. I'm going to show off my mother's necklace. Um, Shout out to my stepdaughter, Melissa Durbin. Oh, she also did my ring. um, so I am super excited about today's topic. Oh, sorry, getting off track. I want to do some go over some administrative stuff. Next week there will not be a Taiki talk, but we'll be returning. I'll be returning on the 30th, May 30th, with a special guest, Mira Hardin. She has a podcast, Brown Girl Trending, about work situations, success stories, career info, and I love her. She's fantastic. So if you just want to get jump start on the next Taiki talk on May 30th, go check out her website, Brown Girl Trending. I also have done a podcast with her, so that should either be up or be up soon. So again, no Taiki talk next week, but coming back on the 30th, we're going to have a special guest. So let's get started on this week's topic. I was checking, make sure I don't have any. Okay. We'll be talking about 6 things you need to know and do before quitting your job to follow your passion. Some of these may seem obvious. Obviously, this is about this is under ideal conditions. Life isn't ideal, but sometimes you have the ability to be able to plan things out for layoffs, that kind of thing that you weren't expecting happens. But this is for people who have time to plan to make that career transition from what they're doing now to what they're passionate. The first one is being clear about why you want to leave your job, why you want to quit your job. Because oftentimes it's not even the job that we hate. We just don't like the work environment. Maybe you have a toxic manager or coworkers. Maybe you don't agree with the company's mission or it's not aligned with your values. Whatever it is, sometimes it's not what you're actually doing. So you can actually change where you're working as opposed to what you do for work. And that may solve it. So you may not even need to do a career change. You may just need to do a job change. So it's important to figure out what exactly about your job is making you unhappy and figure out, and some of the obvious ones are toxic coworkers, managers. You just want something that's more aligned with what you want to do with your values and things that are important to you. Another thing is you have a long-standing dream. For me, it was coaching. So if you have something that you've been thinking about for a super long time that you want to do, that's another reason why you're like, this is the time for me to start making moves. This is the time for me to start laying down the groundwork so I can pursue my passion. The second thing you want to do is understand what your passion is. Now, I know that may seem obvious, but sometimes the obvious needs to be said. And what you want to do is actually understand what exactly your passion is. Maybe you know it already. Sometimes we think something's our passion when it's just like something we like to do, but not necessarily a passion. It's not something you want to do for a living. So in order to figure out what your passion is, just think about what are some of your hobbies and interests. Is it something like one of the things that I have a lot of people, is example I use a lot is knitting. There are a lot of people who like to knit. They find it very, it's a great stress reliever. It's just something they enjoy doing. They do it every day or very often. And they're like, maybe I want to do a business with knitting. And then they get into knitting and they realize, oh, maybe not. I don't like being under the pressure to get things done by a certain deadline. I don't like the pressure of having to do certain patterns. And that's okay. That's okay. You just pivot again. Also, you want to understand what your values are. I'm under the, I'm going to assume that whatever your passion or interests are, you will, they align with your values. Think about what your strengths are, because you may have a passion but it's just not a strength. It's just something you do for fun, and you don't really care that you don't do it well. It's just fun for you. So that's just something else you want to think about. I like, for instance, there are a lot of things I'm not great at. Like, I like, I like exercising. I don't want to do it. I don't want to be a bodybuilder. Things like I guess that's more an example for the second thing that I talked about. Um, but you have to understand that um, having a passion is great. Knowing where passion is better, and it's even the best thing is to know that your passion is something that's aligned with your values, your strengths, your experience, and it's something that you want to do for a living. My passion is coaching and helping women succeed, and I'm fortunate enough that that aligns with my values. It's something that I want to do for a living. So it has all those things. So that's an example from my life. The third thing, and it's often something that people bring up, is finances. Again, this is on the assumption that you have some time to plan. Um, you want to assess your finances. One of the things that everyone keeps telling you, oh, you have to have a budget, you have to have a budget. Most people have a budget, they may not follow it, spending plan, whatever you want to call it. But if you're thinking about making a transition, you really want to at least look at what you're spending, because that way you can figure out, are there things you can cut? What's the minimum that you would have to make to either maintain a lifestyle that you have, or a lifestyle that you'll be willing to have? Basically, the lifestyle that you want. How much would you have to make um, if you make that career change? If you pursue your passion, will your passion be able to sustain your lifestyle? It's simple as that. I mean, it's great to say, oh, I want to do my passion, but if you can't pay the bills, it's not great. It's a lot more stressful. Um, Obviously, you can start putting money away, you can start maybe cutting things, you can start monetizing your passion on the side to just kind of get going and build a portfolio of recommendations. There are lots of things you can do to ramp up to get to the point where you can make, well, you can make the amount of money that you want to make from your passion. So the next thing is, and this one goes regardless of if you want to leave your job or not, is build a network. You're on LinkedIn, you're watching this, so I'm guessing that's something that you want to do. So with LinkedIn, work LinkedIn. It's great for introverts. If you're willing to do in-person events, that's great. That's probably the best thing to do too. You can do virtual events. You can, I'm still licensed as an attorney. You can do CLEs, and that's a good way to get to know people. So it's just, and connect with people you used to work with. Talk to the people that you do like at work, or that you're interested in doing. It may be something you're interested in social media, but you're currently working in accounting or something. Start chatting up the people who do that communication. Maybe you can make them move internally to do your passion. That would be great because then you don't really have to do anything other than apply, and you don't have to like change your benefits and do all that stuff. So that's great. You can build credibility doing a blog, posting on LinkedIn. There's any number of things you can do in order to build some credibility and therefore build your network. Reach out to people. Maybe you can write a guest blog post for somebody, or even like for a magazine or something. There are lots of ways to expand your network. Number 5 is to create a plan. And if maybe that should go higher. These aren't necessarily in order. It's just, hey, these are things to do. So create a plan. How long ideally do you want to take? You take a year, you're like, okay, well, I want to take 2 years because I'm starting from scratch and I want to make sure that I learn as much as possible. I want to build my reputation. You figure out how long your timeline is. Figure out how much you need to make. Figure out what your ultimate goal is and why you want to do it, your motivation. Think about, okay, what are some of the things that will be roadblocks, and figure ways out around it. If you can't figure ways around a roadblock, go ahead and ask other people. Part of building your network is that you build what they call board of directors, basically people that you can talk to and ask questions of. And ask them like, hey, here's my plan. What do you think about it? Is there anything I can adjust? Is there anything that I'm not saying or should put more focus on? Create a plan, review it, try it, see what works, that doesn't work, and pivot if you need to. It may be that you do all this stuff and you realize, you know what, I really don't want to be a professional pickleball player. I don't know why I picked pickleball, but I don't want to be a professional pickleball player. So just go back and look at your interests, what other passions you have, and do that again. It's fine. You haven't quit your job yet. You're still making money. So you're just figuring out like what is that you want to do for a living that encompasses a passion or strong interest of yours. The other thing I didn't mention in building a network is doing informational interviews and reading up on things, because that way you have a better idea of what life is really like in those professions. You can learn from them some of the roadblocks that they ran into, so that'll help you prepare for any potential roadblocks that you personally may run into and help you figure out how to get around them. So there's no reason for you to relearn mistakes other people made when you can just ask those people and they tell you how they got around it or how they adjusted to it and pivoted. Number one thing, this is actually number one, take action, do something. You can sit around and think all day long about, oh, I want to do this. Like a lot of us, not most, all, have thought about, what would I do if I win the lottery? Thinking about winning the lottery is never going to happen if you don't buy a ticket. So in order for you to win the career lottery, which is being able to do something that's aligned with your values that you love doing, and you make enough money to sustain a lifestyle that you want to sustain, that's the career lottery. But in order to win that lottery, you have to take action. You have to do something. Every step is a step closer to that winning career lottery ticket. And it doesn't matter if you do something every day or every weekend. Consistency matters more than how often you do it. So maybe you'll say like, okay, I'm going to set a monthly goal. And it doesn't matter if I do it every week, I want to make sure I get this done this month. Make sure that you take action. Watching this, thank you, by the way, but this isn't really taking action in order to move towards your ideal career necessarily. When I say take action, I mean do something that directly helps you make that transition. This is informational. This is something that helps you know more about it, but it's not going to help you get that job. You have to take action. So yeah, to review the the 6 things you need to know before quitting your job to pursue your action. Number one, oh, sorry, to pursue your passion, not action. But number one is take action. Do something. Key word is do. Key letters are D-O. I'm going backwards. This is great. Create a plan so that if you get off track, you can go back to your plan and see where you need to adjust, where you need to start over again. What do you need to pivot? But create a plan, build your network, talk to people, find out what they do, see if that's within your field of interest, find out what the roadblocks they had and how they overcame them. You know, you might just end up being inspired. That's okay too. Just building your network. Ask if they have people that you can talk to. Assess your finances. See how much you would need to make in order to sustain your lifestyle, whatever that lifestyle is, whether you want to downsize or just maintain where you are now or improve it. Check your finances, see what you need to do and where you are and how to put yourself in the best position to make that career transition. Understand what your passion is, because you can't do any of this if you don't know what your passion is, and more specifically, what passion you want to pursue as a actual full-time career. Because not every interest or even strong interest is something that you want to do as like your job, because yeah, it's there's more stress. Like usually people who strike at like a passion is that they're going to end up being entrepreneurs or content makers or something. And it's different watching TikToks and making occasional TikToks and being a content creator, because you have to put out quite a bit of content to gain status and traction. So those are the 6 things that I strongly suggest that you do before you change careers quit your job in order to pursue your passion. And so thank you for joining me. I think I forgot to introduce myself at the beginning. I'm Lauren Young Durbin. I'm a career coach, resume writer, and LinkedIn profile writer. So this is more admin stuff. There won't be, this is a repeat, there won't be a Tyke Talk next week. The following week, we're going to have a special guest, Mira Harden, who is a podcaster and coach. Her podcast is Brown Girl Trending, and it's about work situations, career flow, and has inspirational success stories. I'm super excited to announce that I have new services. Yay! And their LinkedIn profile writing, I also do resume writing now. So if you're interested in those services, check out my website. It's right here. Website at tykecoaching.com, and you can sign up and we can work together to give you a rocking resume that gets you noticed, or a lovely LinkedIn profile that will also get you noticed, and also teach you how to really optimize your LinkedIn usage. All right, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. So that'll be May 30th. Right, so not exactly 2 weeks, week and a half. So May 30th with our special guests. All right, I see you guys later. Bye.